at you pressing all the buttons. Look at you.
I
You're so
am. I
focused,
gotta,
Jada.
I gotta press it all. Because the Facebook one's that's a different one. That's different. I've never streamed to Facebook before, so I'm glad I got it
Yeah,
kind of figured
we
out.
can work it out. See what happens. Um, and let me make sure I mute this. Is this muted? All right, so that's muted. Yeah, we can definitely check it out. Episode 373 of the show radio. A little early tonight. Running on fumes today. Daniela,
Yeah.
what up?
I'm still like, see, it's a good thing you were trying to go live a little bit earlier because then I can sit here and try to figure out the Facebook thing real quick.
Oh, really? So that's a good thing?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Word. Word. We can run some tests and stuff. That's all good. And also, I'm all about that Linux life now. I'm having a great time, actually. A great time.
Good.
Yes, absolutely. So that's been fun trying to relearn Audacity, which is probably the one of the main editors of choice right now for Linux people. You know, there's other options, but that one is a pretty good one. Choice right now for Linux people. To my favor, basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well now you can let me you can let me know. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You can let me know if
Word.
the
Wait.
Facebook one is working.
To my favor, I think it is because it just popped up
Okay,
on the
well now you
bottom
can let me
corner of my
you can let
screen. Like, yo, you live, bro.
Okay, good. See that all works now.
So let me see. So yeah, so what was the thing that I guess that crossed over for that?
I have to like hit the go live thing first. Like I have to start this stream on
Right.
XSplit first, wait till Facebook catches it and sees it, and then I press go live again. So I have to do it twice.
It's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. All right, so is it something that you're gonna have to set every time, or once the settings are in, it's in kind of thing?
I think once it's in, it's in. But
Okay.
well, no, I got to do the go live twice thing every single time, which is weird.
Oh. Okay.
But it's working. Yay!
That's good. Yay! It's so good.
That's what
All right,
matters.
so I need to close this thing. All right, so okay, great. So everything is set. We have all the show notes and stuff like that. Anything random that you want to throw at me before we start? Besides the awesome podcast you did earlier this week that was dropped on Friday that you did by yourself, and I
That
wasn't
was
there.
really scary. You have no idea.
What do you mean?
It was. It was scary for me.
Okay.
No,
All
it's
right.
because I wasn't sure like how to word a lot of things and then to talk to myself. Like it's different from just. We'll talk about that later because it's on your notes. I don't want to go
Yeah.
full on into it right now. Not
Okay.
yet. It's too early.
Okay.
But
Okay. So there was some fear there.
yeah, there was. Of course there was. But
Mm,
it was like a good exercise though that I needed. So,
okay.
not complaining. I
Okay.
needed
We're
that.
just be. We're just.
I needed to be pushed out of my comfort zone.
I
That's
know.
what I needed. So,
I know.
and you did it.
I know. This won't be the last time.
Oh no.
This won't be the last time. No, but that's good though. But that's good. You did really good, and I was very impressed. I was excited. So editing it was a great experience for me because I was not there, so I didn't have to edit myself. I just had to edit you. So that was really cool. That was really dope. And yeah, it won't be the last time. I guess we can definitely go into the process that you took to get there and how surprised you were when you got that assignment. We can talk about all that stuff. I guess since we go live in the next 3 minutes, live for the show itself. But yeah, I was really excited to hear what you were going to say about that whole thing. So yeah, so that was dope. So going through the process of seeing that and waiting for that, anticipating what that was going to sound like without me being there was exciting. So I was really looking forward to seeing that and hearing that. So that was cool. So yeah, so if in the future, I guess exactly the way I want to handle that is if there's things that I feel, which I may be wrong, speak to your DNA in regards to certain things, even if it's in the sports realm, I'll definitely consider handing those assignments your way and see how you roll.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, you're not excited about that?
I am and I'm not because it's just so different. It really is. It really is different. Because I can't say that podcasting solo or recording something by myself is the same as like streaming and just talking to myself.
Mm.
It's different. It's weird. It's scary. Oh. And then the whole perfectionist OCD comes out. Like I
Yeah,
said,
but
it took me like 2 hours, okay? 2 hours to record like a very
2 hours for
fluid
20
thought.
minutes.
Yeah.
Why did it take 2 hours? Since we're talking about it already, so might as well go in. Why did it take
Because
2 hours?
I wanted it to be I kept slurring my words first of all. So I slur my words now, but it's live and
Okay.
it's okay and you're just going with it. When I have the option to go back and clean it up and then fix it up and just make it nice and fluid, I will. So I like the moment I have like a hiccup in what I'm saying, I stop and I just record again. And you know what? It was the most of it was just that opening part.
Really?
It was that opening part of like, why can't I say this correctly? Or I'll realize that I'll say the word live a lot, or I just mix up my words and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. And I didn't even start the process of what I was thinking yet. It was just that whole open intro that
All right.
I
So
would stop and
so
restart.
so so here's a thought, right? Here's a thought.
Okay.
Right. Even my intro is not perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this stage in the quote unquote game, if you will, no pun intended. Um, my intro is not perfect, and there's different things I'm thinking about because of certain anxieties of what we're getting ready to cover for that particular episode. So this episode 373 of the show radio, showradio.info and all that stuff, right? So we talk about the intro, we do the intro in the beginning, then we go to the actual podcast itself. We talk about all the things that we need to talk about. And I never really know what we're going to focus on based on the show notes that we have in front of us. And we tend to spend time on things that I thought was just a random thing. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
we spend our time. So even the intro for us and getting into the actual podcast itself is always interesting going into the process of, for me. So it doesn't have to be, perfect. It just has to be you.
I know, but sometimes I want it to be perfect because I have that option.
Yeah, you do have that option.
Because I do
You
have that
absolutely
option.
have that
I don't
option.
have. I have the option to go back. I was like, oh, I don't like the way I sound here. Oh, I screwed this up. I'm gonna go and do this. It's really bad, and it's the only reason why it took me like about 2 hours. Of just like, I'm gonna be in my room. Don't talk to me right now. I'm gonna get this done. And I'm thinking, okay, this should be quick. He asked like 10 minutes. This should be like done in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
No, no, I come out
That's
2 hours later.
that's all good. All right, so episode 373 of the show radio.
30 minutes. Yep.
Yep. All right, let's go into it. Thanks, guys, for downloading this episode 370 of the show radio. I'm your host, Andrew.
And I'm Danny.
And this is your source for tech, gaming, and entertainment news. Head over to theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. And check out our past shows while you're there. Subscribe and tell a friend about the show. The show's on Facebook Live now. Trying something new, something a little different. Facebook Live and also twitch.tv/, The Show Radio Live. You can sub at these channels. Facebook channel is facebook.com/Uriah, Uriyya. Definitely sub there. And we'll also archive the episode as a podcast later on. It will be episode 373 of this podcast. Daniela, what is up?
The sky. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
What else?
I
What
had
else
like
is
a
going?
whole thought and I like went
What else is
blank. I
going
was
there?
like,
What else is going there with the sky? Danielle, what else is going on with the sky? What's happening up there? It was raining over here in New York. What's going on in Hawaii?
It's raining too, off
Word.
and on. Actually, it's only cloudy today. I'm hoping it clears up tomorrow because I have a 3-day weekend, so I'm gonna hopefully go hiking if it's nice and clear. So, your sky clear up. Do all your running today.
Okay.
That's
Okay. So
kind of
as
it.
we were talking about, fair enough. As we were talking about just before we went live, if you want to say that, uh, the episode that you put out this week about Cam Newton and Jordan, can't think of her last name right
Rodrigue.
now, from Rodrigue from Charlotte Observer. Right, you put out that mini episode, which was about 20 minutes, so definitely check that out in the podcast feed. That is theshowradio.info/listen. So once you get there, you have the option to subscribe to your podcatcher of choice, that kind of a thing. So yeah, so you put that out, you prepared it. It was a surprise to you because I didn't tell you in advance that I was going to do that. But I do feel that you are fully capable of these assignments, if you want to call them that, as far as podcasting is concerned, because you've done podcasting more than many over for the episodes with me thus far. And I think you are well equipped and prepared, and you did it.
Or at least I acted like I knew I was prepared and ready.
Okay, okay, that's how that goes.
Yeah, well, okay. First of all, I don't. I already said it when I recorded it. I don't really pay attention to football. I'm not like a huge football fan.
Right.
So I didn't exactly know who Cam Newton is. Like, I heard the name, but if you ask me what position or what team he played on, no idea. I just know the name, and I know the name plays football.
Okay.
Um,
But even with that, you still probably were more informed than many individuals listening to that. And that's the other part about it
Possibly.
too.
Well, that's because I had to
Because
read into it because I you sent me that first article and I was like, what is this? And I guess that's a good thing to have that perspective from somebody who doesn't pay attention to sports. Um, because when I looked into it, I was all like, well, that's really messed up.
right.
And I read even more, and then what she said, and then what people were saying about her and defending. I'm like, oh my god, really? The guy messed up. No matter how you want to cut it, he shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have acted that way. He shouldn't have done it. And she was justified for feeling the way she did.
Right.
That's it.
So just thinking about some of the things that took place, even that in that conversation, what he said, obviously it was inappropriate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the first part of his apology felt scripted. The second part felt more, okay, I need to do something more genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then go from there. And then that was the whole thing. He apologized. He owned it. Lost sponsor, according to what we know, et cetera, as far as that's concerned. So that was an interesting bit. And I'm looking for more for that. I'm looking like for more things. I'm like, yeah, I want her to talk about this. So I'm looking right now. Even not literally, but I'm looking. And I think it's gonna be fun.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes, I think it's gonna be fun. So that's some of the things that we've been, I guess, visiting or revisiting. Destiny Grind. So you were playing Destiny 2 yesterday with your Warlock, if I understand correctly. You're at 235 plus at this point, I think.
238.
Okay, 238.
238, and man, that nightfall is a pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like so incredibly frustrated. So I went through it a couple friends of mine, and they haven't done it either. So it was the first time for us. And of course, since I was streaming it, I had a couple of people who had some small tips and hints
Right.
to get through it. And I got in that nightfall, you had the anomaly that you had to shoot the anomaly to get 30 seconds more, and then you have to grab that little void and dunk it inside the whatever that thing is to stop the things from shooting. But you have these ogres and knights and wizards all shooting at you along with the smaller little ads. I'm like, oh my god. It got to the point in our last run that we my buddy got so many of the anomalies that we couldn't add in any more time.
So
So
how
I'm
much
like,
time did you end up with?
I'm not too sure.
12 minutes? 11? Was it up there? Was it double digits or single?
Well, I know maybe about. No, it was in the double digits.
Okay.
But once he hit, I think it starts us off at 12 or 13 minutes, and then we played through. What happened is we played through, we got through a bit of it, and then one of us split off, and he went to go find any extra anomalies that we missed, while the other two, me and my other buddy, continued to push forward. And I think by that time we got to the part where you have to do the first dunk. You grab the
Right.
first uh, void ball, whatever it's called. I think we had like 13 or 14 minutes on,
Okay.
and then we couldn't add any more time after that. You couldn't.
Okay.
It didn't matter.
So
It's like we noticed it because we got down to 6 minutes and we're shooting that, and it's like, oh, max amount of time has been exceeded. Oh,
so did it freeze to the max or was it still trying to count
it
down
was
and you
still
just like
counting
messed
down.
up?
It just wouldn't add. You
Okay.
can shoot it. It just wouldn't add. It'd say a max amount. So I guess there's a limit about how many of those like anomalies you shoot out before it'll stop adding on time. And we
Okay.
still did not get through it. It was so incredibly
Yikes.
frustrated. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to know what it feels like to do the raid right now because
Yeah.
I'm frustrated. And
Yeah, the
I was
raid.
the lowest rated one. I believe my two other buddies, they're 270, 280 plus. And I think their recommended was 240 and the lowest is 230 for that.
Right,
And
right,
I
right.
was 238. I'm like, maybe I should move on up a little bit more.
So what was the okay, so what did you start with yesterday before? Like in terms of your power level, where were you at
216.
before?
I was
Just okay.
216.
All right, so a big jump.
So I made some progress.
Okay.
Because
That's
like
good. That's
shortly
good.
after, I think shortly after you left our fire team, we just did a few more public events. Like I just did some of my milestones. And then, yeah, then we tried that for about an hour and a half or so
Okay.
before I had to get
Okay.
off. And I'm like, I need a break. I need to step away from this.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to do in that game. At this point, right now, I'm trying to get the other two characters at 300 plus. So that's a little mission in and of itself, especially with the drops. Because that's at a certain point, I guess for me, the only drops that really matter are exotics, or if I get a super legendary engram that drops for me to, infuse into the stuff that I already have. So I mean, that's pretty much where we're at with that. Or Nightfall um, would really be good. The raid would be really good, if I can get through that. But it seems like there's a mixture of individual pockets, I guess I want to say, where you'll start a raid with a group. You get to a certain point because the coordination has to be so on point, or you die, or people start falling out. Then you have to find a time to schedule that thing specifically just for that. Nothing else. There
Mm-hmm.
can be no other thing for you to do in this time frame, but just do the raid. And I think because so specific, so you know the things that you have to do in there, you can't miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it sticks out like a sore thumb. So, and I think that's really one of the things that's keeping me from doing it all the way through. I got to Callus probably once or twice at this point. Did the underbelly a couple of times. Got a couple of things from there, which was cool. Some weapons there. Aside from that, I'm not really mad, because I know I know some individuals who've done the raid to some degree, and they're still not 300 plus, which is kind of weird to me. That they're doing that big activity and not 300 yet, which one of my characters is at least over that, which I'm happy about. But yeah, so it's been fun. Crucible's fun still. Strikes are fun still. Public events are still fun. So we're still having a lot of good times with that.
You know what's funny is that I am very easily frustrated with Destiny. Well, just getting through that nightfall was just like, I think 3 or 4 times of trying. I was like, I need to step away and stop. But I've been playing Cuphead,
Mm.
and that is far more soul breaking than Destiny, yes. And yet I can
Because
well, it's hard. It is really hard. Um I'm not playing it on simple. Like there's a simple and regular mode. So I think it's normal that we're playing on. And doing the co-op, I am told playing a co-op actually makes the game harder. And knowing the patterns that's going on and how to react to them, I'm not quite that quick on it. Like I'll just like, oh look at this, and then I'll just get hit by a bubble, a fish, a cat, and I can still maintain a smile and just be like, okay, let's just try again. I can do that for 3 or 4 hours and just, eh.
okay, so
I don't know why it might. What is it?
besides the Contra feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
What other elements or other games that you'd say it reminds you of? Does it have like shoot 'em up elements in it that you say, oh yeah, that
Yeah.
reminds me of like a shoot 'em up kind of thing?
Yeah, it is. It does
Hmm.
have a shoot 'em up like feel because I can't even think of the game I'm thinking of, but there are moments where you actually become a airplane, and
Okay.
it's just a shooter. It's just a straight shooter, and you're trying to get through those kind of like, oh man, I can't remember the name of that game. It was on Super Nintendo, but it has a shoot 'em up. It
Wait,
has,
Gradius?
yes,
Okay.
that's the
Which
game I'm
one?
thinking
One,
of.
two, or three?
Okay, that one I don't know.
Yeah.
That would,
Okay.
but yes, Gradius was the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
And then you have there's like almost three different things. So you have to shoot 'em up like that, like Gradius. Then you have the one that's just run and gun, where you're basically just shooting and you're moving forward like a normal platformer. Just trying to get to the end, and at the end there's another boss. And then there's some stages where it's only a boss and just a boss.
Okay.
But I honestly am starting to think the reason why I don't get so frustrated with it is that the animation is so cute and adorable and very, very nostalgic. Not that I grew up in the 1930s, but I remember watching those older cartoons with my parents and my grandparents, and that's what they grew up with. And it's nice. And see the little hand drawn thing, and it's super old school. The music is really good. That I'm like, I can enjoy this.
Even though I'm dying.
Even though I'm dying a lot. I'm like we found this pond too, and it tells you this little rhyme how many times you've died.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Okay.
At that moment when we checked, and I know we died a lot more times after that, 355.
355. Did you beat the game already?
No, I'm only 32% of the way in.
Wow. So that's why there were so many people complaining about it. I didn't think it was like that bad. That's crazy.
Yeah, and they're playing. Most people that I've seen playing it or streaming it have been solo playing it. And I
Right.
am told every time somebody comes into my stream, I'm told like, "Oh, it's a lot harder with two people." I'm like, "Oh,
That
well,
makes me feel better.
yay!"
That's
But it's
insane.
good,
Yeah, that's
and
insane.
it's super rewarding to beat. So when you finally beat a boss, because we're able to do 3 bosses right now, I'm on a very annoying clown, a clown on a roller coaster, annoying little
I'm
clown.
sorry. Thought that was funny when you said that. A clown on a roller coaster. I
It
don't know
is.
why
It's
that's
basically
funny to me.
it's annoying. It's annoying, and I'm not even sure if I'm looking forward to going back to him. Like I kind of want to, like we started off trying to do him and beat him, and I got frustrated. And I walked away. We went over and did another boss, beat him. And I'm like, hey, we'll come back to this one now. And then I'm like, I just want to leave you and go and play another boss instead of you right now. Ugh. All right.
So at this stage in the game, 32%, you're determined to go how far? All
I'm
the way?
gonna finish it. Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'll probably hold the Guinness World Record for the most deaths in a single playthrough.
Okay, so you have that. Now, did you play Super Meat Boy?
Yeah, it's harder
Okay.
than Super Meat Boy.
What?
Yeah, I thought I know that Super Meat Boy is difficult, but It's harder than that. This I would compare it to the difficulty and frustration of Dark Souls.
which I didn't play. Okay.
Because you have to, there's patterns to it. If you pay attention, there are patterns to it, so you can get through it. Same thing like Dark Souls or Neo. There's a patterns to the boss that you're playing. You just got to learn it and work with it, and it's just not forgiving. It really isn't. If you're just like a second or two too early or too late in doing something, that's it.
That's it.
And you
Hmm.
have to almost run it perfectly because you have these bosses, and when you die it shows you a graph about, you know, the different stages of this boss, and it'll show you how far you got along to it. And that's kind of rewarding to know, like, okay, well, we got this far, we can do more, we can do this and try that. It is very incredibly demoralizing when you die. When you die at the very end and you have your little cup cuphead or your mugman, that their
Right.
nose is touching the very edge, the very sliver of the ending, and then you die and you didn't get there. You're just like,
Wow.
no. No. But you have to like almost run those stages perfectly, because if you don't have at least half of your health, which is two out of
Mm.
three, I guess 2/3 of your health, by that last stage, it's like good luck. You're just all luck there. Just all luck.
Crazy.
But it's really good and you should play it.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I look forward to it. I really do. All right. So a couple of things that took place this week. All right. So Dead Orbit did win the faction thing for Destiny 2, um, which is, it is what it is. They don't have the best weapons, though. In my opinion, I think Future War Cult is, the group with the best weapons. So that's, I know Dead Orbit is your people, right? Those are your
Well,
people.
okay, I feel dumb for that because I didn't know that I had to sign up then and there, and I can't sign up now. Like, I can't
Ever?
join that faction. It doesn't give me the option to join any faction.
That's crazy. Okay, so then so I can't join New Monarchy for my Titan, unless. So I guess they're going to do like they're doing, like they used to do for Iron Banner, which is going to change this upcoming week anyway. But where they may rotate the weapons, they may bring a new weapon every single time they decide to do like a faction rally event again, right? That's what I'm thinking if they consider doing it again. But I'm locked in for two out of the three, and I guess that's it until they bring it back.
I got the reward though. I guess from Dead Orbit winning, they gave like a reward gun. I got that.
Right.
I just can't sign
Right,
up
right,
for
right.
it. That's it.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so then Dead Orbit, congrats if that's your people. It is what it is. Star Wars Battlefront 2 impressions. All right. I died a lot. Let's
Like
start there.
355 times a lot.
No, 12 to 25 a lot.
Okay.
Because I was still learning the mechanics and still learning distance, still learning hit markers, still learning, the objective of the actual gameplay for Star Wars Battlefront 2. And it's beautiful. I mean, it looks realistic. It obviously is the Star Wars world, right? Which I really appreciate, and I didn't realize how much I appreciated that world until I started playing the Battlefront again, and I was like, wow, this is dope. So I got a couple of kills, so I felt better about myself. That was great. But overall, the whole sound of Star Wars is amazing, especially when you have like headsets on. It's just amazing. So I was enjoying that world yesterday, and I'm not going to say I didn't have a good experience because I died a lot, right? Even in the fact that I was trying to figure out how to play it, I was still enjoying the world of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the beta, which is out right now for PS4 and Xbox until they take it away, which I'm not sure when they're taking it away, actually.
So, did you just stay on the ground most of the time? Did you try any of like What is
I
it?
stayed on the
Starfighter?
ground. I stayed on the ground most of the time. I didn't do the starfighter thing. I mean, I like flying games, but I like, highway to the danger zone flying games. I like Top Gun type.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if I want to do the Star Wars thing. So most of the time I stayed on the ground, did the objective thing. You had to push your convoy, type unit to the other side. And as you're pushing the convoy thing to the other side, you have to make sure you kill the enemies that are on the floor, that kind of a thing. And that was really, really dope. So I enjoyed the whole experience of learning how to play it. And I think that one of the things that they really pushed for Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the fact that there's so much more than the first game because hardcore FPS individuals were a little bit upset that they didn't have so many options when the first game released. So now you have John Boyega, the actor, doing you know, the pitch for this is the game. It's 2 times more than this, 5 times more than that, 8 times, et cetera, et cetera. So they're pretty much letting you know that, okay, so if you played the first game, you were a little bit disappointed. They're not really saying that, but they are. This game has so much more, and you should come back and experience it. So, and before we decide to just tell you to throw money at something that you didn't experience, here's the beta, which they do for a lot of big games anyway. Here it is for Xbox. Here it is for PlayStation. Check it out. And it's free. Check it out. If you don't check it out, then you won't know exactly what you're getting into until the game comes out, if you decide to check out the game.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Not
I
for
have
you,
enough
not your thing.
games. No, it's gonna be definitely one of the choices I'm choosing to just kind of pass on.
Okay.
I do like Star Wars. I've just never really been into their games so much.
Okay.
And oh, thank you. And hi, Tracy. Beta closes tomorrow, she believes. Um,
Tracy. What's
but
up, Tracy?
I just have so much other games and so much more that I'm looking forward to. I don't think that Battlefront would be a bad game, not by far, but it's definitely in I feel is a niche of gamers. I don't know so many that like Star Wars. I'm not saying that you have to like Star Wars to
Play the game.
enjoy the game or play
Mm.
it, but more if you want to stick around for it and continue. Like I think of like, oh, this is cool, and then it dies off like a month or two later.
Right. Okay. So the thing when it comes to these FPS type titles, right? There has to be something that pulls me back into that world. So
Mm-hmm.
Destiny has um, reset dates of certain things that continue to pull you back into the experience. They're having different events. They're giving you the calendar of events for the things that they have coming up, which is what a calendar of events. That's what that is. And I like that. So there's certain things that I'm looking forward to, especially with the gear, powerful gear, and all that stuff when it comes to those things. Star Wars, I don't see that experience happening. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing for me. So I didn't get the first Star Wars until way after, and I think that came with either it was 9.99 at a November sale or something like that. What's up, hundreds? Either that or it was part of like a PlayStation, you know, that kind of thing. What is it? What is it called again? PSN deals or whatever month. So I don't know. So until those certain FPS has stuff in place to pull me back into that experience, I will not be in that experience. So I did enjoy the beta for what it is. I may go back into it tonight, depending on what's happening, with the show and production and post production stuff or whatever. But I don't know.
Okay. I didn't give it a try. I just didn't care. It just didn't appease to me. Like I had a code and I'm like, here you go. I don't want to play it. Figured I'd give it to somebody who would appreciate it a little bit more.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So there's a small world. We especially when it comes to like online social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook people, and all that stuff. Small world, right? So and I think Tracy can tell the story better than I can because I recently went to an event this past week, and the day that she decided to go is the day that I went. Go figure. Wasn't even planned, right? So we see each other at this event. Good times, good conversations. and that's always cool. And I see the same, not necessarily a bad thing. This is not necessarily a bad thing. I see same faces, right? And one or two new faces, but a lot of the faces that I saw was the same face, and it's great. It's encouraging to see individuals, crafting their content, creating their content at these events and stuff like that. And it's a constant reminder to me of how small this world is. Maybe it's just a group. You just see the same faces, and it was very, very, very eye opening to me that a lot of the things that I think no one sees, everybody sees. And I think it's interesting for me. It's humbling, and yet it still allows me to be like, okay, so I know who to see, who to expect at certain events. At the same time, it's refreshing to see new faces, obviously. But it's a small world when it comes to the content creation portion. I guess I would say on the East Coast, right? It's a little bit different on the West Coast when I see the faces out there, right? But yeah, it was cool. So the point of that is small world. Saw Tracy, hung out with Tracy. She was dope. She's dope anyway. So that was good times. And also saw a couple of titles there. Some we have interviews for coming out. But the ones that I can talk about specifically include Rise of the Tomb Raider in 4K, which I don't see in the notes because I forgot it and it just came to my mind now. So let's talk about that. And that was absolutely amazing. So let's just start there, right? Rise of the Tomb Raider, 4K, Xbox One X, right? And that was great. Had a conversation with a dope gentleman there. Looking forward to put that conversation out. That's going to be in the feed this upcoming week. Just edit it and clean it up a little bit, make it sound nice. So that's going to be coming out. I had a lot of fun playing that. And I was more interested in him discussing the tech aspect of the 4K, the HDR, the different modes, the upscaling, and he had another term for cluster something. I think he called it cluster something, but I may be using the incorrect term. But her hair was just like flawless, according to all the things that you can visually see now, because the game has been enhanced to a whole another level. So Rise of the Tomb Raider, a game that I have, which I need to spend a little bit more time playing. It's not in 4K, but I do have it for the PlayStation 4. Any comments and thoughts on that, Danny?
Did you get to play it, or you just
I
watched a
did.
demo?
I did. I played it. It's pretty dope. Yeah.
Like I feel like
It's pretty dope. Like I was like, I was like, okay. All right, so I said let's play it a few minutes, but I want the conversation more because I all right, so certain events that I go to, especially if it's like showcasing certain games, you get to play the game or whatever. I'm more concerned with the conversation more so of the gameplay. I know that once I play the game, I can come on here and talk about it on the show, and then go from there. But I was more interested in him encouraging individuals to try out this new technology or new technologies that we're having, quote unquote, infused into the experience or added later. Like HDR was added later to Xbox, added later to PlayStation, for sure. That much I know. HDR was added later to my original PlayStation, right? I'm not sure about Xbox right now, so scratch that. But it was added later to my experience for PlayStation 4, and I'm looking forward to the games that's going to take advantage of that, ability, if you will, that technical ability, if you will. So watching individuals play Rise of the Tomb Raider in 4K and having the opportunity to play it as well it's absolutely stunning. Lighting. I mean, the only thing that's missing is a heartbeat, basically. It looks that real.
So they were only pushing for the Xbox One on that. So they didn't have anything for like the PS4 Pro.
There were so there were PS4 Pros there, if I remember correctly, but they were not stationed for that thing. So the highlight, so one of the highlights of that particular event, and I guess I'm thinking, hold on, I'm trying to remember the picture the way it was set up. Tracy, remind me if I'm like losing it, there was a big, large poster of Lara, right, on the left side. So it'd be the left side when you walk in, the left side if you go around the left of that particular room, right? So you're sitting at the station, Xbox One X. You had some snow stuff in front of you. You had the big TV screen. There was another picture, if I remember correctly, on the right side of Lara, smaller, not as huge as the one on the left side. So they had that stage. So it was the spectacle, if you will, to see, right? And then they had stations for the other games that I'm going to mention briefly, which I have interviews for. Some are still under embargo, so I'm not really going to spend too much time on them. They had a Western lineup, and obviously Eastern lineup. And they also had where Tracy spent most of her time playing, which was the Cydia Final Fantasy NT. I think they had to turn off all the lights for her to actually leave because she loved that game so much. If I remember correctly. So so you have that. She's laughing in the chat. So you have that, and yeah, so the whole setup, of course, did the food and pleasantries and all that stuff, which was great. But yeah, so the spectacle for the 4K. And at one point, maybe 6 to 8 months ago, I did get an opportunity to review a 4K TV, which I'm sad I had to give it back. But 4K is dope. I mean, I'm not against it. I know some individuals, kind of bring it down because maybe they haven't necessarily experienced that technology yet. 4K is a thing, period. And I think that as you, experience those things either in store, at a Best Buy, or whatever your electronic store local is, that kind of a thing, you'll see the differences between the 10K and the 4K, the 1080p and the 4K. And then I'll go from there. So yeah, it was really, really dope.
Okay, so Elmo, bringing up the 4K, Elmo says Tomb Raider reboots have been good, but does 4K make it worth buying or playing again?
Okay, so again, very interesting question. Again, that's really up to you, right? Because my thing is, if I have the opportunity to get the game, I have not played it yet, and you have the opportunity to play in 4K, I think it's an experience that you should even consider. You should even consider it. Find somebody who has it. Look for it in a store if they do like those kiosks or whatever, and definitely check it out for yourself. If you love the game, playing it again is not necessarily going to be something that is going to be an issue or a challenge for you because you want to experience it at a higher, whatever you want to call it, quality as far as 4K is concerned. So I would say yes, because the guy that was presenting the game played it like a whole bunch of times. I'm not going to say that it's because of his job that he has to play it a whole bunch of times, but you can feel the sincerity and the excitement for what he was showcasing, right? And I think that and that was exciting, that was welcoming, as well as experiencing it for myself, even though I already have the game, but it's not in 4K. So seeing it in that light is amazing. And if you like Lara Croft, it's not a big deal for you to make that jump and experience it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, if you've already played it, rebuying it to replay it in 4K, I don't think so. It's gonna look nice. It's definitely gonna look nicer, but
Right.
to spend the extra money to buy it and play it again, I probably wouldn't. Not if you're just replaying it. But I'm cheap, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah, so it
funny.
was definitely cool, definitely exciting. Had a good time. What is Tracy saying? I know Tracy said some stuff. What Tracy saying in the chats?
Dissidia. I was only a little hooked to that game for hours at a time.
Only focus on only. But yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that. So let's talk about that a little bit. Dissidia, not my type of game per se, but there's certain things that I really enjoyed about it because I was able to pick Cloud, Strife. All Final Fantasy, over 20 playable Final Fantasy Legends to play, over 10 iconic battle arenas and legendary summons, a mode for every player. The more you fight, the more you gain. Unique bravery combat system. And that's some of the stuff from the fact sheet for Dissidia. So that was cool. And also got a chance to check out Secret of Mana.
Oh, that's such a good game.
Right.
So
So I got a chance to
good.
check that out. during the event, and I think I'm thinking in my mind what's in embargo, what's not right now. So yeah, that was cool. So I'll leave it that. Lost Fear, that was cool. I'll leave that as there. What else we got? Gravel, very cool, very cool. Arcade simulation type racing game, and had a lot of fun with that. More arcade than simulation. From the people Milestone, I believe it is. So that was cool. So conversation for that's upcoming. That's going to be dropped in the podcast feed. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast because that's where that's going to be for Gravel as far as the interview is concerned. So look for that. Also, Motocross, the official motocross game. Had a chance to see that, check that out. Interview will be directly to the podcast feed, and that's dshradio.info/listen. And I'll give you a page where you can click on your podcatcher of choice, and then you subscribe to the podcast the way you want to subscribe to the podcast itself. So that's what's going on there. Secret of Mana, that's beautiful. Had a lot of fun with that. Demo was cool. I really enjoyed that. And what else is there? And then we already talked about how awesome you did for Cam Newton. The episode feedback, a lot of downloads there, which was exciting to see. And people like when I'm not around, Daniela.
Jeez, don't say that. But Elma asks, here's a good question. Um, are you guys worried that the 4K will continue a growing trend where games are opting for visuals over substance?
No, no, because whenever there's a gap and certain things, whether it's a lack of content, lack of graphical fidelity, or whatever the case may be, we complain. And if the company really cares about the game or the upcoming titles, whether it's a version 2 of the game, version 3, et cetera, they'll make changes. For example, obviously I'm going to mention Destiny, right? There's a lot of changes that took place in Destiny 1 that we have in Destiny 2. A lot of individuals were excited about the changes when they were implemented in Destiny 2. A lot of individuals said that Destiny 2 should have been Destiny 1. And now people are complaining about the way Destiny 2 is currently. And we're always going to find a reason to complain. That's where we are right now. So now people are complaining because what's the end game now to play Destiny 2, right? If you did the raid already, if your characters are already 290, 295 plus, right? What's the end game? Well, it's really the same. Nothing has changed. Okay. Xur, you can find them easier, right? So individuals are complaining about that. You had the shader issue. People are complaining about that, right? Because over time, shaders are going to drop everywhere anyway because most of your characters are leveled up to some degree if you play the game often enough, right? So there's always going to be something to complain. There's going to be something to fix when it comes to these things. So so the answer to your question, that's a long way around the mountain, is I'm not worried at all.
I have to think about that because
Next
not
question.
every great game has good graphics, and not all good graphics have a great game. Um, no,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily worried about it. It makes me excited because you have games that are probably gonna look absolutely beautiful in 4K that has a really great story, really great mechanics, and I'm thinking about The Last of Us too. And then you have what Kojima's coming out with, which I am just like lost what the title of the game. This is so bad. I'm like forgetting names of games all day today. Death Stranding? Death Stranding? Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, the Kojima thing?
Yeah. And
Right.
I feel that that's going to be amazing in 4K as well. And well, it's coming from Kojima. It's going to be amazing. It's just going to be a great story overall. I'm not too worried about that. I think now in games, I think a lot of developers are pretty good, or at least getting better at finding that balance between having a great storyline and looking amazing. And I feel back in the past, it was like it's either it looked okay, but it had a great story, or it
Mm.
was the opposite where it looked fantastic, but it was very shallow, and you're just like, you're left wanting, more and being empty. And I have to use Destiny 1 as that example because when that came out, it looked beautiful. It was great, but year one was very painful. And a lot of
Right.
people, like myself, dropped that game. So I'm
Right.
not too worried
And
about it. I really am not.
and the digging for story in Destiny 1 was really painful. And it took individuals in the community who did their YouTube lore stuff because you had to read cards to get more context in the story for Destiny, the first one. And now the story is embedded in the game, based on the way the NPCs have conversations with you and, things that you do with the adventures, right? And strikes. You probably get a little bit of a story there. So, Destiny, as you said, in your opinion, is a great example of people's impatience. I definitely agree with that. And you don't really have to look at those comments, right? And I know that there's a lot of individuals on social media that spend time reading those negative comments when it comes to a game that's really, really popular, whatever that game is. And obviously, Destiny is pretty popular right now. And I don't spend the time to look at those comments because what's the point? I'm having fun with the game, right? I am. Okay. There's certain things I don't like about it when it comes to Crucible and people playing Supremacy and they don't grab the orbs that they're supposed to grab. That's basing complaints on my part. But outside of that, overall, the enjoyment of the game is high for me. But no, it's not a concern for me or Daniela at this point.
Take a little break here. I just want to say hi, Nick, in the
Yo,
Facebook chat.
what's up,
Thank you for
Nick?
joining us, and thank you. He says you have great information. Appreciate that.
Nick is my cousin. What's up, Nick? What's going on, bro? Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on with that. Next thing that we have on the list, a couple of things in technology. I think we're done with the preamble stuff, right? We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so technology stuff. After 20 years, AIM shuts down in December 2017. The Plex team has just announced very recently, new features aimed to smoother playback and less buffering type of thing. Tor now has a messenger and also 5 photo editing apps that will be in the show notes. I'll have a link for that in the show notes. Daniela, any comments on those things?
I'm a little bit sad, even though I don't use the service anymore, that AIM is shutting down.
Yes, definitely shut it down. 20 years.
Because it's funny because the first article, I mean, there's bigger articles on it, but the first one that I read happened to be one in my local news, and it's like the first sentence says like, if you're a '90s kid, this will affect you, or something like that.
Okay.
I was like, what? And I was like, I can't believe it's been 20 years because I don't think my internet usage as a teenager would have been the same if AOL Instant Messenger didn't exist.
Yeah, but the email is still going to be up, right? Based on the stuff that you read?
Uh,
Because Tracy will be hurt if the email goes away.
yes, I think so. Why do you still have an AOL email? I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Oh my goodness. Did you use AOL?
Yeah, absolutely. So
What was
who
your
didn't?
first screen name?
Wow. Mine, I think it was probably like Dragon Quest 15 or something crazy like that. It was something weird like that. Uriah came later. Uriah came later in my um, podcasting and online, if you want to say persona days.
I
But
think
yeah.
mine is
What?
so embarrassing.
What did you have? Like
Okay, so
Benjamin
we
Portrait?
had strict my mom still had strict rules about the internet and stuff like that. At least she tried to be self-aware of internet and as you said, she's tried to stay ahead of the time, more so than I think most parents did in the 90s because it's the internet. They don't think of creepy predators or something. But the
Right.
rule is that if I wanted to have my own account, because originally I was using hers to do, sit in little chat rooms and stuff like that. But when you brought up the little profile, it's like, oh, you're old. Which at the time my mom was like my age or something. but So the rule was that she got to choose my first screen name, and I could not complain about it at all. And it was
Okay.
so incredibly cheesy because she thought it would be one of the cool things.
What was your name?
Skater She Devil.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, at that time, I used to really love skateboarding, and then she thought since she got to choose my name, that she's like, she thought that would be a cool, trendy thing that teenagers at that time would like. So that's what she created for me.
Whoa.
I was stuck with that for like 4 years.
So yeah, so what was the way to change the names? Did they have an option to change it at all
No,
back in
I
the
think
day?
you just had to create a whole new account.
Wow.
It was
Back
terrible.
in the day.
Yeah, it was so bad and it was so embarrassing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to.
That's crazy. So are you done? Are you still using the email or no?
No,
Okay.
that's
Because
embarrassing.
why?
No,
You're not gonna
guys, this
use.
is because who's going to use the email address that their mom made for them when they were 13?
I don't know. Who
Not
made
me.
Tracy's email? Who made Tracy's email address?
She probably had parents that loved her and let her choose it herself.
Oh, what did she say? What did you say, Tracy?
Oh man.
Neopets? Neopets email on my AIM. You have like three AIM names. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, so AOL is interesting. I haven't used AOL Instant Messenger or email in a very, very, very long time. But aside from that, yeah, it's going away.
Elmo
But
says, "Were you adopted? That should be classed as child abuse."
yeah, right. I'm glad you
It
said
was.
it. I'm glad you said it, not me.
I lived with it, but if I wanted that privilege and I wanted to be online, because I was addicted to the internet even then, back in '97. Like, I
Wow.
accepted it. I didn't complain. That was the rules. Okay, fine. As long as you let me go and be online and do whatever, I don't care. Fine.
That's crazy. All right, so can I talk about my operating system experience in the last week and a half?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
That falls under
Because
tech. Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. All right, so for many of you guys and gals, no, I've been really going back and forth between which operating system is going to be my main from now on. At least for a long time. And Linux I've used since 2008, Ubuntu, right? And Windows 7 has always been a thing. Windows 10 became a thing later on, which was cool. And somewhere in between Windows 7 and Windows 10, I started getting a lot of crashes on the system. Short story. Now I'm back on Linux again, right? So everything is Linux. So whenever I'm signing in, all my stuff, my Plex server, the Discord app, everything, Audacity, editing, the show now is all Linux, and that's been a very, very interesting experience because I'm relearning how to do things in that particular platform, as well as what video editing is going to look like, because I do not have the apps that I have licensed to on the Windows side here, right? So now I have to use OpenShot or whatever applications I can use that's on the side here for video. But overall, the experience has been really fantastic. The uptime has been great. Please do not jinx that, anybody, because it's
Like how
really,
you got nervous and quiet. Like, hey, don't
because
jinx
it's been really, really fantastic. And yeah, I've been having a good time there. So yeah, definitely want to throw that in there. I've always enjoyed long-term releases like the LTS, I think they're called versions for Ubuntu or whatever, because I'm not constantly changing those things. Printer drivers were recently installed, and that was flawless. No issues there. So most of the things that I need to work. Most of the stuff that I do online is online, right?
it.
So that aspect of it has been really fantastic because I'm not necessarily saving a lot of stuff locally, maybe a couple of files when I'm exporting stuff with the WAV files and turning them to MP3 and all that good stuff. That stuff's been fun. One of the things that I recently saw that was interesting was the fact that in the Audacity, which I probably mentioned that earlier, but I just want to, I guess for you guys here, that Audacity has a built-in leveler, and I didn't know that. Maybe it's just built into the Linux version of Audacity. Don't know. But when I use the Windows version of Audacity, I do not see the leveler option under effects, whatever. So yeah, so the experience has been great. Yeah, and that's all I have there.
Good. Definitely been a little
Word,
bit better. You haven't had any crashes.
word.
So
So that's what's going on with that fun stuff. Okay, so a couple of things in entertainment: Pacific Rim trailer that's going to be it's coming out what 2018. A Justice League trailer did drop. That's November 2017. Netflix up prices recently. What's going on there? Two stream HD services now $10.99 per month, up $1 per month from the previous $9.99 monthly fee. Meanwhile, the four stream family plan now costs $13.99 per month instead of $11.99 per month. Daniela.
I don't even know which one I have right now. I should go and check. But I always found it funny how it says, I don't know, maybe it's just, I understand what they mean and why it's there. But when it
Right.
says the four stream family plan, because I always
Right.
think like as a family, you should only need one stream because you should be all watching it together as a family. Not like, here's the four stream for those four individuals and your three kids you probably don't want to spend any time with you and they're watching it in their bedroom plan.
Right. Right. So, do you ever have any issue where you're watching the Netflix and it's like, okay, yeah, if you need to add additional people, do that, that kind of thing?
One sec. Genatonic, thank you for stopping by and showing some love. We
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I think I definitely have the two stream thing.
Okay.
Only because sometimes, and this is for my son who doesn't want to leave his bedroom and watch stuff with me. No. Um, Sometimes when I'm on travel, I like to watch Netflix just to kill some time. If I have like nothing going on that evening, I'm staying in my hotel room, and my son stays back home. He'll watch Netflix. That's like the biggest reason why I even have I think the two stream. I've never had a problem before with being like bumped off by anybody else watching or using it. So I don't
Hmm.
think I need the more. The one feature that it doesn't even cost money. I think it just comes with all of the plans as long as you're not overlapping each other. I like how you can create different profiles
Yep.
on Netflix. That's my favorite. That's my favorite feature of everything. But I've never had a problem with like somebody more than two people streaming at the same time.
All right. So, what are you using more now? Using Hulu more or Netflix?
Um, they're actually pretty even.
Because Amazon is stepping up their game right now. They're buying or bringing shows to the platform. Like every time I look at their thing, they're really adding a lot. I know they just licensed three new shows. I think one is Lazarus and some other two things that I briefly saw as far as entertainment news is concerned. But Amazon is really coming up right now.
I haven't even checked Amazon in a bit. I think the last
Word.
thing that I've been watching that I believe it is Amazon. The Man in the High Castle.
I think that's Amazon.
That yeah, that's really good if you haven't watched it. It's basically if in World War II the Nazis won, which is
Okay.
really it's a really interesting twist in history, but it's actually really good. That's the last thing I watched, and I think that was last year. I haven't really checked up on it. It's been a pretty good balance between Netflix and Hulu. Obviously, I only use Hulu to really keep up to date with TV shows that are currently going on now.
Okay.
And Netflix, I love that I can binge watch so many of their series.
So
And
much so.
I think even with them upping the price for me personally, I don't have a problem with it because I feel like between the three people on my account, we get pretty good use out of it, to be
Mm.
honest. And I can binge watch like crazy. I finished all five seasons of Wentworth, which is another amazing series that I would highly recommend for anybody to watch. And it's just all there. And that's another Netflix original series. Just the original series and movies I love.
That's crazy.
So,
There's so much. So a couple of things I did watch this week. Spider-Man Homecoming.
I didn't watch that yet.
Man, man, so good. I'll leave that there. Just let that marinate right there. And also The Wizard of Lies.
Wizard of Lies. I don't think I've heard that title.
That's that's the Madoff Bernie, the Madoff Ponzi scheme, the greatest Ponzi scheme in history, where they gave him 1,008 months in jail, so basically life with no, I think no bail, no parole or whatever. So he's in there like basically die. Stole a lot of money. I guess you guys can check numbers on that. I think it's like 16 billion or something. It was a lot of money. Stole a lot of money from people with this Ponzi scheme, and so essentially he's a genius with numbers. Okay, now that's the other side of it. I understand the side of him ruining people's lives. I understand that side. But he is a genius with numbers. When you think what he was able to
Sorry. Yellow just said, "Miss you not watch Homecoming. You're dead to me." I'm sorry. See, you have somebody who loves Spider-Man with you. Now you
that's
have it
great.
all.
I'm glad. I'm glad. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was a Peter Parker movie, not a Spider-Man movie. And I think that, being 14 or whatever, having all those powers and trying to figure out what to do with that. What's up, Tiger? What's going on? And that was amazing in and of itself. But The Wizard of Lies to me was watching somebody ruin people's lives, genius with numbers, as I was saying before. And on top of that, according to the way the movie ended, which I don't even want to talk about aspects of the movie itself. It was so good. Like, so he's a sociopathic in nature, right? I guess somebody who doesn't feel, or I guess I want to look up the definition because I looked it up earlier this week. What that stood for. Sociopath. I'm doing this real time because I want to make sure I get that right. So a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior and a lack of conscience. So they classified him as that person. He loved his wife, loved his kids. The way he reacted or handled his kids in the movie was interesting. They were very sociopathic in nature, according to the way he spoke to them. Kept to himself a lot. That was interesting. And the more I watched the movie, I'm like, am I a sociopath? Because I have a
No.
lot. I have a lot of. I think I'm emotionally connected to people. I spend time by myself a lot, thinking about different things and trying to figure things out, that kind of a thing. So there was a lot of things that pulled on you to decide, should you feel sorry for him or not? And it was a constant battle of that watching that particular film. So if you have not seen The Wizard of Lies, definitely check that out. I think it's pretty dope.
Okay. Did you try it? Did
Yo,
you watch those two trailers?
no,
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you.
tell me.
In short, Justice League looked awesome.
Mm,
Pacific Rim, I cannot say that I'm excited for it. I loved the first one. I loved the first Pacific Rim. I thought it was a fantastic movie. It
it
was really
was.
cool, super badass. This Pacific Rim 2, whatever it is, looks like a mixture between Power Rangers, Transformers,
Okay,
and maybe like the tiny sprinkle of Godzilla in there.
that sounds exciting.
It doesn't. Okay. To me, it doesn't look exciting. Like there's a lot of action, there's a lot going on, but it wasn't how the first one. The first one was really cool because it had like this very like anime kind of live action feel to it, but it wasn't goofy. It was very serious. It was like you have these kaiju, these and this Godzilla dinosaur creatures that they're fighting and protecting the earth against. This one. It's like, okay, so you took all the hype and flashy lens flares with I don't even know. It just kind of like took away from what the original Pacific Rim was.
Mm,
And it looks like it's great for action, sure. But then I'm watching this thing like, yes, let's save the earth by destroying it because they're having these massive battles going on in this trailer that's in the middle of this major city. Like,
mm.
I don't know. I didn't really care for it. It's like I was so disappointed. And I'm like, I'm still gonna watch you, and hopefully I'm gonna be wrong, but this does not have me nearly as hyped as I was when they announced that Pacific Rim 2 was happening. It
Right.
did not make me as hyped to watch it as the first trailer did for the first one. This one I'm like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
But the only thing that it did do right that I liked was the music. It was
Okay.
Tupac. It was
Yeah.
Tupac Untouchable. And I'm like, all right, okay, that's dope. Just for the
Tupac is
music,
dope.
that's it. That's it. That's all. Other than that, I could have just give me that song, and you keep your movie to yourself. That's it.
Hmm.
But
Netflix Shaft reboot,
but
but why you say it like that?
are you serious?
Yeah,
Like
Netflix
I
has
meant that
reportedly
what in like surprise. Why
yeah,
did I
Netflix
miss that?
has reportedly cut a deal for the rights to the Shaft reboot featuring Samuel L. Jackson. That's one thing. Stranger Things, the game, it's in the App Store and Google Play. Warner Brothers Japan revealed the first official poster for its upcoming anime movie, Batman Ninja. Any comments on those
Okay,
things?
I'm sorry. Shaft reboot with Samuel L. Jackson. I know I read through the notes. I don't know how I missed that bullet
How'd you
point.
miss it?
That's why I said what? I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
That is okay. I'm sorry. I love Batman Ninjas, but Shaft reboot takes the whole thing. The show can be done for today now. That's all the news that we need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it for this episode of the show radio episode 373. Thanks you guys for we're not closing out yet. We're not closing out yet, right? Not
No,
time.
no, no,
It's not
no.
time. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Shaft, Stranger Things, Batman Ninja, Batman versus Jack the Ripper, animated film that's coming up soon. Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, Fast and Furious, offshoot. Any comments on those things?
Stop it with the Fast and the
Stop
Furious.
hating it. Stop
Stop.
it.
Stop making so much more. It can
Stop
end. Just
hating
let it
it.
die. Just
I
let
think
it die.
Fast and Furious 9 was pushed back too. I think that was a delay on that. I did briefly see that. So that's what's going on there. So any comments besides the Fast and Furious that you don't like so
See,
much anymore?
tiger nose. Fast and Furious. It should be a dead fish.
Oh my goodness. So Blade Runner 2049 brought in 4 million. I think it was underwhelming for that. But there are a lot of individuals who were excited when they saw that. In the wake of the tragic events recently that took place in Las Vegas, Netflix reportedly postponed its premiere of The Punisher. Any comments on those things? Blade Runner, Punisher.
Just that I thought that Blade Runner would be a little bit higher
Right.
this opening weekend.
Word.
That's one movie I definitely want to go and try to take some time out to hopefully go and watch it in theater.
So what's up with Tiger with the dead fish? That's not even right. It's not
He's
even
still
right.
because he knows it should be dead.
Come
Let it
on,
go.
man.
Let it go. Let the
All
Fast
right.
and Furious series go.
I can't. I like cars and driving fast.
I think there's a couple things that were actually postponed due to the events in Las Vegas and for good reasons and good cause. I'm trying to remember the second thing. I think it was some Amazon thing, Amazon Masters, I think. That
Hmm.
was also postponed. That was supposed to be in Vegas. And they're doing it just because people need time to mourn. People need time to grieve and to throw in another event in there like it never
Word.
happened. That's a little bit disrespectful. But that's a good call on Netflix's thing to push it because The Punisher is a very very in your face. Um, you know, he kills everybody, so it's not very
Does he
good. It's not
really?
in good taste.
Does he
Punisher?
really?
Yeah, he does. He just kills
Doesn't kill
everybody. He
everybody.
just shoots everybody. He doesn't care. He's an angry man that lost his family.
Yeah.
American. I'm hoping when Tracy says AHS, it's American Horror Story. But did they? I don't know. I'm not fully
Probably.
caught up. I'm still trying to catch up on that. And Emma says Blade Runner was meh for me. I will hold it up to the original, even though I shouldn't.
Which one, Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I recently watched it for the first time, and I think it was an amazing, way ahead of its time film.
It really
And
was.
I need,
Like those
yeah, yeah,
graphics for the 80s or whatever it
amazing,
is. Oh my goodness.
amazing. So okay, so you have that, and then also the other one I need to finish with Charlize Theron, right? Her film with the desert thing, everybody in the desert, everybody riding
Mad Max?
strange looking. Yeah, that I need to finish that because that was a masterpiece in and of itself. So I need to go back and finish that.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah.
American
So there's a
Horror
couple of
Story,
things
yes. They edited
hanging
it.
in
I
there.
just checked because of the shooting, the episode is being re-edited. Oh. Oh. Now I'm
Mm,
just curious more about that episode. Like, what is it that they're removing? Okay. But yeah, and MLC. The Punisher kind of glorifies violence, so it's a good call.
yeah, and also they're supposed to have a panel, I think, right, Tracy, for New York Comic Con, and they removed the panel from the list. If you
For
wanna,
those reasons.
yeah, those things. So that's definitely something that was going on with that. A couple of things I think. Okay, okay, we're good. Video game news. Blizzard updated its beta version of Battle.net desktop app, so you can appear offline. That's a thing. Andrew House is no longer the boss of PlayStation. He'll be succeeded by his deputy John Codera. And he's going to be a chairman for the rest of the year. Ubisoft is buying back some shares from Vivendi, so they don't take over the company. That's what's going on with those things. Any comments there?
Mm, no, not really. I'm kind of
Okay,
like the
so
only thing that's really small and it's just the quality of life thing is I like appearing offline on certain things. Just so you're not constantly like hit up the moment that you jump online. Because it's nice. Sometimes you just want to play by yourself, not
okay,
be
so
bombarded
Danny,
with messages.
Danny,
Yes,
sometimes don't you want to go where everybody knows your name
maybe,
and they're always glad you came?
maybe. And sometimes I just want to go to the library where it's quiet and nobody says anything to me.
Okay.
I sound like such an antisocial grump.
Okay, so panel is replaced with Stanley Doc. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I appear offline because you want to do a particular thing, aspect of a game, play a stage or whatever, and the people will be like, "Hi, what's up? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Chilling. What are you doing?" And then you got to go through all that. PS4 system software update 5.0. I want to open that and talk about some of the changes. Okay, so before I even talk about some of the changes, some of the things that I've seen on social media, particularly Twitter, not so much Instagram, that individuals were getting their PlayStation 4 bricked because the update um, happened on their system and their PlayStation was no longer usable, right? So, interestingly enough, as we spoke recently about that error that I kept getting once in a while, I did
Yeah.
get it, and I just close applications and come and bring the system back up. I've I haven't experienced these challenges. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, so let's get to what's my point. My point is the challenges that people are having online. PlayStation was very slow to address them, right? So they would say, "Hey, PlayStation, ask PlayStation Twitter account. This is my issue with the software update that you just released. What are we going to do about it?" And I think for the labor to even fix the system, they were charging at least I think $90+ to look at it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's pretty much some of the things that I saw on social media. So a couple of things with this particular update: PlayStation System Software Update 5.00. It is out now. Team tournaments, if that's your thing, you can follow anyone. Messages update. I guess there's a thing for that. It looks like you can your your actual web addresses show up in the thing. I guess that's a popular request that people had. And then there's also PlayStation Communities that was updated, which is outside of the PlayStation 4 stuff, their apps. And I don't know, I guess bug fixes and stuff. So I don't see. Okay, so one of the things I did see as soon as you made the update, they had some icons that would tell you, "Hey, this is new. Hey, that is new. Okay, so they did that, for the changes itself. Did you have any challenges updating, or was it already updated when you turn on your system? How did that work for you?
No, I didn't have any problems. I mean, I have mine sitting in rest mode, so already auto installed and updated.
Right.
And I saw the little features. And again, I think Tracy goes +1 for Danny. I'm such a super antisocial person because I'm like, who can add you? No one.
What? I don't see that.
Yeah, because it'll tell you when at least when I logged in, it shows you the different features about what they're adding and changing, and it'll be like I think one of the options like who can add you as a friend, and then there's options of everyone, friend of friends, or no one. Who can search
Hmm.
for you? Everyone, friend of friends, no one.
All
And I'm
right. So
like,
Tracy,
no one.
Tracy, don't make
No.
me blow you up with that picture that you took with me. That has a backstory.
That's a backstory.
It does have a backstory.
Moved any.
I don't understand. I don't. Okay, seriously, I don't understand. The people that tell me that they're not social is the people that are social to me. I don't know what it is.
Because it's
What is that?
different.
Oh, but it's different.
I don't know. There's like you have it's an optional thing
Okay,
because
explain.
when 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 it's optional, when it's something that you can enforce, at least for me, okay, I'm speaking for myself. When it's something I have control over, I'm being social. And yeah, sure, it seems like I'm a huge social butterfly, but if I put into the situation where, okay, like my messages and adding friends and all those other things, because
Right.
that person is sending me the message and sending me the request and I don't know them and they're forcing this conversation and they're a complete stranger to me and I had no control whether to start that conversation. I don't like that. It's like cuz it's not it's really weird. It's really uncomfortable to me. And I've gotten those messages, and yes, I have changed it. That the only people that can send me messages is friends, not even friends of friends. It's just friends. Um, like when they start a conversation, I don't know who they are. Maybe they're from Twitter or from Twitch or something like that. But their username is different from any other handle, and they'll just send me a message like, "Hey, how was your day? Hey, how's that game?" I'm like, "Who are
Right.
you?" Now I have to have a conversation with you, and I don't know who you are.
So you're essentially a control freak.
No,
That's what you're saying. That's what you're
no, but I
saying.
sound like a turtle, like a really grumpy person. I don't mind talking to people, but it's the fact that I initiated that it is okay to start the conversation. This sounds so bad. It sounds like such a meanie. I really do. Because
Okay.
it's just it's not even just like a control thing. It's like I'm also shy. And like if I'm like confronted like spoken to first and I wasn't expecting it, I'm like, "Oh gosh. Oh no. I got to say something." Cuz if I don't say anything, I don't want you to think something bad of me, but I don't want to talk.
You see, you care, and that's really important. What is okay? Tracy says I recently removed anyone's ability to message me after a flood of randoms. Okay. Oh, she's saying stop because of the picture comment I made. All right, that's what's going on with that. I'm uncomfortable in social settings, but I can be social, and when I know have something in common with them, I'm a lot more comfortable. LOL. See, I don't see that, Tracy. I don't see that because when I first met you at that event, not the one that just passed, but the one before that, you were social. You were testing the waters, if you will. Based on the conversation that we had, which was very light, and I ended up interviewing whatever I had to do for that, and then whatever. That was cool. And then we saw each other again this past week. Pretty social to me. I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't
have
know,
to
Danny.
agree with her though. Like I'm uncomfortable like when she says she's uncomfortable in social settings, she can be social. But when
Right.
there's something in common, you're more comfortable because you, at least you know like when you go to a cons, you're surrounded by a bunch of people you don't know. But the fact that you're all at this convention for this hobby, for this game, for these interests, you know that you have at least something in common. It doesn't feel
Word.
as weird because you already at least have some sort of starting base with this
Hmm.
stranger. Now, somebody stops to like talk to me at the grocery store.
That's just weird.
Um,
That's weird.
I don't know. It's really weird.
Hey,
And
what's up,
yeah, and I
Daniella?
was like this truly did happen last week, I think. I went yeah, it was last week. I went to the grocery store and it was a long line. There was only two registers and it was like the end of the work day. People are like leaving work, picking up like dinner on their way home. So it was long and this guy, he just like taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "You look familiar."
What? That
And
would
I was
never
like, and then
happen in New York.
I'm like, I
You'd
just
get
like kind
punched in
of
the
stood there.
face.
Like, what do you say to that? Um,
You look familiar.
cool.
That's just
And then
weird.
it is. And then he's like, did you go to the mall? I'm like, which time? like, like he's like, you just look familiar. Like you went to
That's
the mall.
crazy.
And I'm like, I don't know where to go with this conversation. I kind
That's
of want to,
that's
like, I've been
creepy.
standing in this line for 20 minutes, but I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to get out of line and go elsewhere because I don't want to talk to you. And I don't think he was trying to be mean. Maybe he just lacked social skills, but I don't know what to say and I don't want to continue this conversation. You're in my bubble. The fact that you said anything to me.
The fact that you got tapped on the shoulder, that wouldn't happen in New York. Okay. It's a comfort thing, an environment thing, says Elmo. I need to find a common ground to lose that jitter or edge. That's what Elmo says. Tracy says someone stopped me literally yesterday at the grocery store to compliment my outfit. And I think I just yelled, thanks, as I kept walking away. Then later realized what was
Wait, was that
wait,
rude?
wait, was that rude? Social skill level, I don't know. Tapping on on a shoulder and whoa, that would never happen here. See, Hawaii is different. It's a different vibe
It is, and it's weird.
in Hawaii.
And it's not
That's
like
weird.
most people have bad intentions. You just want to talk story because you're waiting in line. Me, I'm like, leave me alone.
Hmm.
I don't know you. I don't know you. You don't know my life. Leave me
All right,
alone.
essentially, the PS4 update has been good to us, and we feel bad for our friends who are experiencing any. What's wrong with you?
Nothing. We feel bad for our friends.
what, what is wrong with you? I'm trying to transition to the next thing, and you laugh at me. This is
Okay,
not
sorry.
cool.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. See now, I can't say without laughing. All right, hold on, hold on. I gotta get it back. This is like acting, right? So we feel bad for our friends who are experiencing any technical difficulties at this time. Okay, we're all right with that, Daniela?
Okay. I
Okay.
thought you meant that as we feel bad for TJ's fan because she doesn't want to talk to anybody.
All right. We're done here. We're done here. Okay, so next thing is SNES Mini can play downloaded games. Microsoft's Spotify rival Groove Music is shutting down. Any comments on those two things?
Really, they're shutting down. I could have sworn
Word.
that I've gotten like some like updates over the last month trying to push for Groove me to
Daniela,
use it.
that's your last update.
Okay. I thought it was trying to
No.
like encourage me to use this service. Well, I guess I can understand if it was a month ago. It's like, please use this so we don't have to shut it down. Oh, they didn't
Yeah,
use it.
I think you're done. I think you're done at this point. So that's what's going on with that. So if you're Groove, I think they're migrating from Groove to Spotify. That's a thing right now. Fable Anniversary is finally available to play on Xbox One via the console's backwards compatibility service. Microsoft is rolling out digital gifting service to Xbox One inside their members, and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is now available for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Any comments on those things?
No, I kind of want to go back to the other thing though.
Which one? SNES Mini?
Yeah, I
What's up?
that's something I kind of want to try out with mine. But I'm wondering, does that? I guarantee that probably voids your warranty in some way or form, doesn't it? I
Do
would
you care
assume it
about
does.
that?
I'm not sure, because
Okay.
I don't mind voiding warranties when I've had something for a while, but I've had it for less than a week or about a week. That'd be so
Hmm.
good. Like you can get your full $70 worth. I mean, yeah, they have some really good games on there, but that's just perfect. I don't know.
Word.
I think I'm gonna go and give it a try. I'll let you know when I do, or if I do,
Yes.
if I get brave
Stream
enough,
it. No,
if
don't
I'm like
stream.
a brave little toaster to go and do this. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is really cool. I kind of want to
Yeah.
go and experiment with it after I play with it a little while, because I don't know if I'm gonna screw it up, and that's the only thing that makes me nervous. Because it
Yeah.
was only
Tracy
seventy
says
dollars, but it's
seventy
$70.
dollars. Yeah, but it's rare $70 you have in your hands right
Mm-hmm.
now. It's really rare. So Fable, Tracy says she misses
It
Fable
was good.
when Fable was good. That's funny. Fable I played like one or two times and that was it. That's what's going on with that. So definitely check that out if that's your thing. Dragon's Dogma. If that's your thing, definitely check that out. Gran Turismo Sport free limited time demo launching Monday, the 9th. So that's what's happening with that. Did you ever play Dust and Elysian Tale?
I think that's on my backlog on Steam.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that beautiful game. Soundtrack, absolutely amazing. Hand drawn, platformer. That creator Dean Dodrill is actually coming out with another game. The next game is going to be called Never Stop Sneaking. Sounds good. That kind of a thing, which will be released for Nintendo Switch this holiday season. So that's anywhere between now and December. That's what's happening with that. And if you are getting an Xbox One X and you decide to open it up, there is a tiny Master Chief riding a scorpion inside it. If you want to void your warranty just to see that, or if you just want to see the picture we're going to have in the show notes, it's up to you. Any comments on those things?
Is that to like not just because it's only Master Chief, but Scorpion because
Hmm.
that's a
Yeah.
previous code name?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Those are really weird things to have. Like your own Easter egg in your game, and you're gonna have people guessing like, do I really want to open it up? And it's weird because people are gonna open it up just so that they can see it, even though they can go on the internet and see a picture of it. It's gonna be the same exact thing. But I guess if your Xbox dies and breaks, then sure, go ahead, open it.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be interesting. Now,
What,
Scorpion.
Elmo?
What
Jeez.
happened?
I'm like not on Elmo's good list here apparently.
What?
But
Am I
going
getting
back to the
points?
no, yeah, you're
Are we
getting
doing round the
points.
horn right now? Am I
You're
winning?
getting points. I got no points. I'm negative points.
Word.
But he was asking about the Fable stuff. So the Fable Anniversary is finally available on Xbox One
Mm.
via the backwards compatibility. That was the news. There is an etched MC or Master Chief in every Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I have a couple broken Xbox 360s inside that one too. Should go and open that
I
one
don't
up.
know. You should fix those and make them do cool things.
They're really good, like bookend holders.
Right.
Yeah, there's their purpose.
Word. So that's what's going on with those things. All right, so you have that. Dustin Elysian Tale, great game. If you get a chance to check it out. I have it. I don't know. Does it play? Did they backwards compatible that for Xbox? I gotta check. I don't know. Yeah, so that's a good game. Horizon Zero Dawn is gonna have a bundle type thing called the Complete Edition. You have that also going back up one because I kind of skipped this one real quick. Not sure why. Microsoft has revealed Halo Recruit, a short Halo themed experience designed to show off mixed reality headsets. If that's your thing, definitely check that out. Any comments on those two things?
Um, God, I'm so bad in a backlog of games that as ridiculous as it sounds, I might actually pick up the complete collection of
Of
the Horizon
right,
Zero Dawn, even though I haven't touched Horizon Zero Dawn yet.
right.
But I might as well. I mean, usually when they come out, it's usually a better price to get that rather than buying it separately. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how that goes.
Right.
Depends on the
This is
price point.
this feels really weird because tonight's show is actually shorter than last week's show. Okay. It just feels weird. Okay, so a couple of more things before we close out this episode 373 of the show radio. You can find the show radio at theshowradio.info. You can also find us on Facebook. That is facebook.com/URIYYA. Also, twitch.tv The show Radio Live is where we're recording this episode. So the thing, I guess, going forward at this time, we're running some A/B testing thing, if you want to call it that. We're going to be live streaming on Facebook as well as Twitch, and then we're going to archive the episode to the podcast individuals, podcast listeners. What's up? We love you, right? So you have them. So that kind of thing, that's really what's happening right now. Do a little bit different. If you listen to the podcast versus the actual live show, there's a little bit different blooper type stuff that I do with the podcast, kind of have fun with it. So definitely consider going to that and downloading that. That's always fun. This will be episode 373. We're approaching 400 soon. Nothing big planned for 400. Most people don't get to 100. Most people don't get to 10. So we're just happy that we're here providing content to you guys. We've got probably 5 more things on the docket for tonight. If you have any questions in between, maybe we'll hang around for like 5-10 minutes for the after show. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, we can actually bundle that up for the podcast listeners. What's up? We love you. And that's pretty much what's going on. Any comments on that, Daniella?
No. Sounds like a good idea.
Word. So that's what's happening right now. So Horizon Zero Dawn, if that's your thing, definitely check that out. Complete edition. Assassin's Creed Origins. If you like cats, definitely consider getting.
Like how you just go with that. Like, if you like cats, get Assassin's Creed Origins. Because
if cats are your thing and you like petting them, yeah, definitely check that out.
No, I don't.
I'm still willing to try. Person. Try what? What are we trying?
I'm not a cat person.
You're not a cat person?
No.
Because
I'm a dog person. I don't know. Cats are mean.
Do you have a dog?
I probably am losing. I used to. My apartment doesn't allow dogs anymore.
Okay.
So no dogs, but I love dogs. They're loving and they're sweet. Cats. I've never had a cat that was really nice and friendly who did not. You know what? Maybe that's why they allow you to pet cats, because the cats that I've had are like assassins. They like are high, perched up high, hidden, and you don't see them, and they're just like walking on the edge of open doorways, waiting for you to like walk through, and then they just dive and pounce on you, grab your back, and just like scratches down there, and then you freak out because it catches you off guard. It surprises you. It hurts. And then this cat is like, why did you just yell at me? And then runs away. Like cats
Batman ninjas?
This is worse than Batman ninjas. Like, those cats are just mean. I'm not a cat person. I probably just like lose out on so much.
Who's a cat person in the chat? Do we have any cat people in the chat? I like cats. I like dogs. Who else?
I think Tracy is.
Tracy
she has a sad cat emote over there.
Cats are dope. I like cats. They're very independent creatures. Dogs too, to some degree. I like this one dog in my life right now. Not literally here, but my wife's parents, their dog, Tesla, is amazing. I'm a Tesla fan because every time if nobody likes me that day, Tesla loves me. Right. So if I go over there, pay them a visit or whatever, shout outs to the fam. What up? Right. Pay them a visit. Tesla is always excited to see me, no matter what goes on. And I think that's the only dog I'm going to adopt from afar.
From afar.
From afar. Thank you.
Oh, what happened to your video?
My video's gone?
No, for a little while it was. That's fine.
Yeah. From afar. So yeah, I like Tesla. So are you gonna pet?
Can we pet dogs? Why is it only cats?
Okay, are you going to pet cats in Assassin's Creed Origins, which is coming out soon?
I pet
Just the end of the month?
I pet the dogs in Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I say. Shout outs to the Assassin's Creed team. I'll say this because there was a long period of time where I wasn't necessarily interested in anything Assassin's Creed until this one. So whatever they're doing there, and I think that there's even, correct me if I'm wrong, dope peeps in the chat, where you're going to have this mode where you can just explore and not necessarily combat, right? I think they're doing something like that so you can actually enjoy the world walking through it because it is amazing. Even the pictures that I've been seeing online, that's been pretty fantastic to do. Even some of the trailers I saw, that was pretty cool. So yeah, shout outs to them if they listen to the show. Shout outs. All right, tell them I said what's up. So that's what's going on with that. So you don't want to pet cats, you want to pet dogs, and I don't think that's available in Assassin's Creed Origins. And Street Fighter Arcade Edition for the FGC community. They're probably saying right now, this Street Fighter should have been the Street Fighter we should have had when Street Fighter V came out. That's going to be in January, I believe. Thank you, Daniella, for that correction. Appreciate you. So that's what's going on there. Any comments on those things? Street Fighter.
I don't really play a whole lot of Street Fighter, but going off of what it is, it's just kind of it's good that the current Street Fighter V owners will get this as a free update. If they were going to turn around and require them to buy it again, because basically to me, and anybody in the FGC can correct me on this if they wish to, but from my point of view, it just basically looks like please pay us $40 for a reskin of a game that you already have.
But yeah, that's been Street Fighter though.
And well, they're not. I think they had only a couple like different things. Like they had like new V triggers, and I don't think it really changes a whole lot of the mechanics. So
So I have something to tell you. I don't own a cat, but I identify as a cat, if that counts.
you should say that Tracy said that.
I know.
Because you caught me off guard. Because I'm like, okay, okay, Andrew, you're gonna start purring over there.
That was the point. I love any pet that lets me scream "aw" and doesn't freak out at me, says Tracy. I think the long pause was, absolutely necessary to catch you off guard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you did.
So that's what's going on with that. Okay, Street Fighter. Not really excited about it.
No,
right
I think
now.
the only good smart thing on there, other things is if for current Street Fighter V owners, it's going to be a free update. So I highly suggest that if you do not have it now, go to GameStop, buy it used, probably
Good
for
idea.
cheap, or go borrow it from a friend or something. I have no clue. I don't know. Does it even come in a physical disc anymore? I don't even remember.
Don't know.
But yeah, just jump on that. Don't go and spend another $40. Buy it. Get it cheaper. Get a free update.
Get it for $20, and it's gonna be the best $20 you spent in a long time. It's probably gonna be anywhere between $14 and $25 right now. It's not gonna be any lower than that, so don't look. Maybe if you get some great deal on Amazon, and it happens to be a bag of sand when it comes to you, but you don't want that. So that's what's going on with Street Fighter. PUBG, maybe on a PlayStation 4. That's a maybe. Okay, to the point where it's going to be something that the PUBG people are considering to extend the exclusivity of PUBG to Xbox, so it doesn't get to PlayStation that quick. PUBG on PlayStation 4. Any comments on that, Daniela?
I'd play it. I still probably would play it on PC a bit more. I enjoy the game. I really, really do. So I'll go and support Bluehole or whatever their subsidiary is,
Right.
and play it and buy it. Although I still very firmly believe it is so far from being ready to be able to play on any console, PlayStation or Xbox, because the PC version is still really poorly optimized. It still has a lot of bugs. It still has a lot of issues. Fix those first, and then port it to the consoles.
Okay.
That's it. And I was
Great
very, very
idea.
happy that, like, kind of on the side thing is, I didn't get to play PUBG for like almost 2 weeks. I played last night for a few hours, and I got 4 chicken dinners, and I was so happy. I was so happy. Well, actually, I got 4 on stream, 5 in total for the whole day. I was like on a
Nice.
4-win streak, and I was like, this feels good.
You were
I'm
balling.
done.
You were
I was
balling
so
out.
happy. I enjoy PUBG more than Fortnite. I don't know. Everybody jumping on that Fortnite train, and I'm like, I'll stay with PUBG.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. So you have that. All PlayStation platform exclusives and the original Destiny have now been made available on Xbox One and Xbox 360. So if you've been waiting all this time, this is your time to shine.
That
Welcome.
is harsh. Like I didn't realize that Xbox didn't get all this stuff yet.
No, no. They had that thing on lockdown for a long time. For a long time.
And they're probably gonna do the same for Destiny 2, right?
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, even the things that's going on right now with Destiny 2, the update really recently dropped. Iron Banner is actually coming out the 10th at 2 a.m. Pacific. It ends October 17th at 2 a.m. Pacific. The game is going to be Control, and some of the things that let's even talk about it. Let's go right into it. Some of the things that are different. Combat will be between two teams of 4 players. Your fighting abilities, not your power levels, will decide the outcome. Your fighting abilities, not your power levels, will decide the outcome. Bounties and ranks have been replaced with an Iron Banner engram. That should be interesting to see. So I'm looking forward to that. They also have the pictures of the gear that you're going to get. I'm looking through the post right now. I don't see any weapons on the post. I see everything. I see gear. The gear looks pretty cool. I might have to rock that when it comes out. Okay, so what else? How can you compete? Complete the Destiny 2 campaign. The only way to reach the tower. Visit Lord Saladin in the tower to begin the Iron Banner quest. Fight in the Iron Banner playlist with quick play modes and matchmaking. What's in it for you? Earn Iron Banner tokens in every match. Earn more if you win. Daily and season milestones that track your progress to glory. Claim brand new armor wrought in the forges of the Iron Lords. So that's some of the things that you're looking forward to. It is Control, and Control is pretty dope. I like Control, so I don't mind that. I did finally get the Nightshade, which is one of the best pulse rifles in the game, which is really, really dope. And also Daniela recently got the Vigilance something. I can't think. Wing? Is it Vigilance Wing? I think it's called. The pulse rifle.
Oh, I don't remember the name of the pulse
The exotic,
rifle.
I think it's Vigilance Wing. That one is a rare drop anyway. So the fact that Xur has it until Tuesday, Xur comes on Friday, leaves on Tuesday. The fact that he has the Vigilance Wing, which is a 5-round burst pulse rifle, which is pretty strong. I got mine at 305, which was amazing. So I'm happy about that. So I bought it and then it dropped. Go figure. So that's what happened there. So Iron Banner comes out next week. And also Monday, I'll actually be going to an event in and out of the city. So looking forward to doing that, which is mañana. And that's what's going on right now. Any comments on those things?
Nope. Only thing I'm
Nope.
looking forward to is playing catch up. See, I had a goal this week was trying to hit 260, but
You can do that.
adulting
It's
came.
easy.
No, well, I wanted to hit two. I know I can hit 260. I know I can hit 300 eventually, but I wanted to do it before today. Except adulting got in the way of all this other stuff, like, geez, priorities.
Mm.
So I guess I wanted to. That was my goal. So I'll make that a goal for this week. If I figured if I got to 216, from 216 to 238, I'm like, I think I can go from 238 to 260 at least
Okay,
this
so
very week. And at
260 you can
least
do.
do the nightfall.
260 you can do. 260 you can do. Just let me know. When you jumping on again, you know?
No, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow
Okay.
night. Depends.
All
We're
right.
gonna go hiking and go to the beach tomorrow.
All right. So I guess one more thing before I close. So Plantronics gave us a gift recently. Shout out to Plantronics.
Oh yeah.
So Danny, we still got to talk about this.
Yes.
What are we doing? We still got to talk about it. Okay, we'll talk about it offline. But what are we
Okay.
doing?
I don't know.
All right, so Plantronics gave us the showradio.info this Rig 800LX with Dolby Atmos special edition wireless surround sound for Xbox One. All right, so that's it. I think this is in front of the screen because it's blocking my face. All right, so shout outs to Plantronics. This is a review unit, which we'll be talking about soon. And I think we're being so generous to each other right now, Daniela. We don't even want to know who's reviewing it right now. We're just like, no, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. No, you get the
Oh,
Atmos.
goodness.
You get the Atmos. Anyway, so we're trying to decide who's going to review it right now. And we haven't decided yet, and we're not going to decide here.
No,
Right.
actually, I'm gonna be honest.
Stay
I kind of
tuned.
forgot. I actually kind of forgot.
Stay tuned for that. Okay, so the one thing that was interesting to me about that whole conversation when I was talking to them during PepCom, that whole conversation it went something like this. This has a low battery feature, right? Most of them do. The low battery feature is at 4 hours left. That's the low battery feature, and that was the thing that really stuck out to me when I was checking that out. It is wireless. It looks pretty dope. It's still in the box. It is for Xbox One, and we look forward to have that conversation in regards to that headset very, very soon. And that's it. That's all we have. Danielle, you have anything else?
Nope. My
Peeps in the
goals
chat.
for the week is just to finish a couple games, or at least get further in some games. That's my goal for the week.
Word. So peeps in the chats, thank you so much for chilling with us. We're going to hang for a couple of minutes. Then we're going to do the closeout stuff, hang for a couple of minutes. If you guys don't want to talk to us anymore, then we're just going to be out. But guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking out this episode 370 of the show radio. Please like. It's very important. Please subscribe to the show. Definitely check us out at twitch.tv/The Show Radio Live. Also check us out on Facebook. We're going to be doing stuff on Facebook. We're still going to upload on YouTube. That's going to be theshowradio.info/YouTube. Facebook is going to be facebook.com/Uriah, which is URIYYA. So the video is going to be archived there. It's going to be archived on YouTube. The podcast listeners, we love you. We're going to be potting that by Monday, Tuesday. Monday's the holiday, so happy holidays to all you guys. And I look forward to recording the show again. The show is recorded live on Sundays, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you follow Daniella because she's dope at Miss DJM.
And thank you guys for everyone who tuned in live and for everybody that downloaded who listened to us. You can visit theshowradio.info for our past shows. You can also subscribe with your favorite podcast client at theshowradio.info/listen. And definitely check out my co-host and awesome friend Andrew on Twitter. You can follow him at Uriah, URIYYA. So again, thanks for joining us and see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
And then we're done
And
recording.
that is it. That's it. We did it.
Wait, I'm glad that you made it, Elmo.
Yeah.
Trying to get everybody in at a good time.
Yeah.
Seems to work. The time seems to work for us.
So we chilling. So after show, we're hanging out for a couple of minutes, guys. If you have any questions, any comments, definitely thank you for hanging out with us. It really means a lot to us. Daniella and I, we really appreciate it. We're looking for more individuals to find us on Twitch. So if you know any individuals who would actually enjoy the content that we put out, whether that's tech, gaming, entertainment, and I'm still doing promos for the show because I believe that we're doing great work here, and I'm biased to some degree. And I don't know, maybe I am completely biased, and I'm looking forward for more individuals to join in the conversation so we can talk to them in the chats as well as to the podcast listeners. What up?
And we're always open to feedback too. Feedback is always good.
Right.
Good and
What do you-
positive feedback.
Yeah, what do you like? What don't you like? So we're gonna hang. What do we got? It's not for you. Well, how much time you got, Danielle? How much time can you
I
hang?
got a bit of time.
You got 10 minutes? You got 10 minutes? 10, 12
Mhm.
minutes? All right. So yeah. So what do you like? What don't you like? What do you think we should change? What do you think we should focus on? I like the fact that the show is organic in nature to some degree, even though we have like 25 plus bullet points. I think the bullet points allow us to stay as organized and on task as possible, but at the same time still provide some kind of value to you guys in regards to the conversation that we have. And yeah, I like that part. And I like the fact that you get to see the realness of Daniela and I's interaction. And I think that a lot of conversations that I've been hearing throughout, I guess if you can you tweet out that we're having the after show? You're hungry.
Yeah.
Go eat.
Change
Go
number
eat.
1. Send us all
Go
pizza.
eat.
I'm hungry.
Go get some pizza. Go get some pizza. So a lot of conversations that's been surrounding, and if you can just let people that we're, please tell people that we're doing a little after show.
Yeah.
Right now. I'm gonna hang for a couple minutes. Live, theshowradio.info. So a lot of conversations that I've been having with individuals who listen to podcasts or different types of podcasts is, this is real to them. And let me explain. I guess certain shows and certain personalities feel fabricated. And I think that that is something that people do not get here. It's not fabricated. It's as real as it gets. We're normal people doing awesome things, I think, and that's pretty much that kind of a thing. Chase said, "I enjoy the no dead air. You prepare a lot of topics. Yeah, whether or not you talk on it a lot. Word. There's always something to comment on. So that's great. Yeah.
Well, just
Personality, the show is nice. It doesn't. Go ahead.
oh no. So he's like, Mo was saying the person of the show is nice. It doesn't feel stale or scripted. So here's a nice little secret. I don't even get to know what the show notes are up until like a couple hours, maybe
Word.
2 hours.
Maybe
Before,
less
yeah, sometimes
today.
even less. Like today was less.
Today, way
Today was
less.
less. I didn't get to see the show notes until about an hour before we started.
Word.
And personally, for me, because I want it to be organic, I want it to be honest, I will quickly skim through the notes because I don't want it to be sitting on my mind long enough that I have some. It would. It's kind of scripted, but kind of like already pre-established thought process. It's still going to be true if I sit there and think about it, but I don't want to overthink about it because then you don't get that organic conversation. You just have this bullet point thought process of what I already established from,
Right.
reading it yesterday or 2 days ago. And I personally don't like that. So it's
Yeah.
such a surprise.
Yeah. So it's really not preparation. I think I have a tidbit of a preview because I'm putting the lines on, right, line by line. So throughout the week, I share, I bookmark the stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I could easily that speaks to my DNA, so I could talk about that. And then next thing, oh yeah, I could talk about that. So then you go through the process of bookmarking all these things from Sunday. No, that we're really this week would be more Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, to Saturday, right? So we bookmark all these things, and it is intentional that I wait till less than 24 hours to post them. And then there's a gap as far as hours for Daniela and I, 6 hours, right? She's
Mm-hmm.
behind. And so when we talk, yeah, although it's real time conversation via text, there's a gap in the time. So, and I like the fact that, yeah, we don't. I don't think we take ourselves too seriously. I take the content crafting creation very seriously, because I'm not here to talk about beer. I'm here to add value, right? And I've said that before, and it really gets me ticked when people just talk about the beer that they had and it's the same beer every week. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so that's a whole nother thing. That's a pet peeve of mine, right?
Is
But
that
in
a
terms
podcast
of
that you listen to? Let's
no,
talk about
no,
the beer and how
no,
I like it this
no,
week.
no, no. I can't do it. All right, so then you have those things. So then when I see different topics that happen throughout the week, then I'm like, okay, these conversations that we can actually have, and then once we have those conversations, we get to add value, whether it's through the technology portion of it, different tips or apps that you can use. Stranger Things game that's out. If you didn't know about that, now you do. You can just go grab that on the App Store or the Google Play or whatever. Things like that. Things that we feel can add value, or maybe like some of the public relations stuff I've been talking about the last couple of weeks in terms of my experiences of going to events and different things I'm experiencing now. Haven't been around for a little bit, a couple of days, that kind of a thing, and seeing certain things that I can share. Right. So I think that's where we are right now with the whole thing.
Actually, we share a lot.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
we. I
so.
don't. I think even if you, I well, at least that's an impression that I get, and that's how I feel. Even if you're like a longer podcaster or a newer podcaster, we don't mind talking and discussing and helping and
Right.
just being there and supportive. I
Right.
notice that there's
Eh,
some that aren't just like that though.
Right. Right. So yeah, you feel that energy, and yeah, that's broad. Yeah, you feel that vibe, right? So I've been hearing that, yeah, y'all really vibe, when you guys have a conversation. I think, yeah, I think that was the idea, right? That was the idea because I felt like it was something that was going to potentially work, with us just, having conversations together and talking about the things that we enjoy. So I felt that that was something that spoke to me, looking for someone to have conversations with on a platform like this. And Daniela was a great fit, like very scarily great fit. Um,
Yay! Even though I'm antisocial, I just said I don't like talking to people.
right, right, right. Scarily great fit, uncomfortably scarily great fit, to the point where I had to address it, and find out if it was going to happen or not. And I think that's pretty much how we got here. Yeah. So
It
yeah, I
worked
think
out.
we talk about everything. Some degree our families. Very light on our relationships, but we're both involved in our relationships. That kind of a thing. We both have a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. So yeah, we talk about ourselves. We talk about ourselves, but we definitely want to be more active in creating content to the best of our ability. And we're different, man.
And that's
Different,
good though.
right? Yeah, yeah, we're different sides of the world, right?
Different
I
sides of
think,
worlds, different sides of personalities, but I think the differences are actually really good complements to those
yeah,
differences.
yeah, it's really weird. So exciting, weird and exciting at the same time. So I love that people love the vibe, and it's not something that we're practicing before we get on the air, because we're live now, and it is what it is. So yeah, that's where we are.
No, it's all a joke. It's all smoke and mirrors. We just pretend. After
Word.
this, we just nothing.
That
I
was
don't
that
want to
was a
talk to you.
great
I don't
great
want to talk
acting
to you
class
after
we
you.
took earlier.
I'm done.
Great acting class.
I'm done.
Great class. It's a great class. Teacher was great too.
A plus class acting.
Word. Word. That kind of a thing. So yeah. So you guys good? Chats? Any comments before we part ways? Episode 373. So I have to figure out how I'm gonna edit the show now, since we added this piece now. This is the new thing now. We're doing the after show. So I have to play probably a light track and then boom, fade it out, and then fade in and be like, yo, this is the after show. Or something crazy. Something like that. We'll figure it out. So yeah, having a
Oh,
lot of
so
fun with
I guess I should have said this. I can say this for next Sunday
Tracy.
too. I can say this for next Sunday too. Is that I will not be. We might not have a show on the 22nd because I
Mm-mm.
will be at TwitchCon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean you can have the show. You can have a guest. I just
It's
won't
not
be
the
there.
same. It's not the
I just won't be
same.
there.
It's not the same. So that's so you got Sunday the 15th, then you got Sunday the 22nd. We'll figure it out. So you leave when?
Wednesday the 18th.
Okay, got it.
Oh, you know what we could do?
What can we do?
We can record on the 23rd
Yeah, we can.
because my flight lands at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Your time, right?
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, we can do that. So
So
we'll
if
push
we
it.
really want it,
We'll
we can do the 23rd.
we'll address it and push it. Definitely fun that you hung out with us, Tracy. It's always amazing. Elmo, Miss Watch Homecoming and play Elysium.
Oh, Dust
Elysium.
Elysium. I believe it's on my Steam thing.
Oh, Dust. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dust is dope. You guys need to check out Dust if you haven't. But yeah, so 23rd sounds like it will work. Right now, 15 still on deck. 23rd Monday. That sounds good. And then back at 29th. And since you guys stayed to listen to the show, I was like running on fumes tonight. Feeling good right now, but I'm still tired. But we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Yep, that's all I got too. That's it.
Word. So guys,
Okay.
thank you for listening and hanging out, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Who's this? Who that? Who that?
Oh no.
No, we're not saying that. All right, guys. Thank you. Peace. We out.